Thank you. All right. Hello, everyone. Um, can we also enable screen sharing? Today, I wanted to walk you through what we've been working on preparing for the proposals. Yoram has been telling us to prepare for proposals and not do them the last minute. And we took that to heart. And we're preparing 2 months ahead of time. Let's see. So remember, Yoram, I was mentioning that I was going to prepare a framework for our proposals, and most of our proposals will be the exact same, and all the details between all the different proposals will change. Before we start there, let's start, or maybe let's just start there. So we have around 10 to 20 different proposals that we want to make at this point. And what I started working on today is just understanding what different parts of the proposals that we can just generalize. All the post-its that you see in this color, we could just write once and be done with it. So about half the work is just done by just writing it once, and pretty much things like this. What is the Littlefish Foundation? Already done. We have a white paper already. What have we been doing? Almost already done. So pretty much half of this is work that we will do once, and we'll probably do all of that by the end of this month and be done with it. The more difficult part is understanding what the specifics for each of the different proposals will be, and who will write those, and who will be involved in writing those. So some proposals for this, we already have the team. Let's go here. For those of you who are seeing this for the first time, think of all of these bubbles as a proposal. These are, all of them will be different proposals, except the ones in black, which are working groups. So think of them as, think of this as the marketing group. Think of this as tech support. Think of this as software development. This is general direction and vision. And this is just research, organizational research and organization building. And each of these different bubbles, we will have our different proposals that we're going to be making. We might group these up into 1 or 2 proposals, or we might go with different proposals for each of those bubbles. But in the end, we will have something like probably 10 to 20 different proposals for this round. And what we're going to do is write them with this in mind. So we will write them once for the parts that we can write once, and we will put out all the different specifics for each of the different proposals. And what we'll be doing in the next month and month and a half is actually trying to decide what those proposals will be and what we need to, what personnel we need to fill out those proposals. So at this point, what we got is just a name for each of our proposals. We can go through some of them and see what we've been thinking about. But what we really want is some person to see something that is missing, some role that they want to fill, and take action to fulfill that role. If they want to do a proposal that is completely out of the scope of this, but within the umbrella of Littlefish, that is totally fine. That's what we want. We want people to feel empowered to do that. But at this stage, we think more or less these will be all right. So we have a group of people who will take care of the content production. We feel like there's a lot of things that are missing in putting out the message. Like people need to be able to create content on this. And go ahead, Nori.
Are these groups open to jump into, or are they already fixed?
I think they're open, but it will probably be up to the team that is already working. But at this point, I think all of them would say they're open.
Is the purple the the leader of the group? Is that what that means?
Yes.
Yes.
So let me just mention that very briefly. So what we have are a group of people who are in charge of one proposal, and since we only have one wallet that can manage the funds, what we will have is just one leader who will take care of the proposal, and all the other responsibilities are can be shared as the team sees fit. It could be a classical team with one leader who will dominate the team and tell everyone else what to do, or it could be a team that shares all the responsibilities. It is up to the team, like we do, however they want to do it. In time, probably we'll move into multi-signature wallets to take all the rewards. And at that point, we can just build completely hierarchical teams, non-hierarchical teams. But at this point, I think it's important that we give responsibility for the success of the proposal to one person. Otherwise, if everybody's responsible, it's usually that nobody's responsible and nothing gets done.
Mhm.
And this model matches a DAO called Indexed Co-op, if you've heard of it. Those guys are running a model where one or two persons are in charge of different functions of the business that they're running. I would try to build a parallel version of that here. So within each team, we can see the purple ones are the leaders and all the other ones are the followers. So the leader will get the money and be responsible for giving out the money using the action mechanism. And other than that, they're free to decide how to run the team. And this is the area of work that I've been working on today, trying to understand all the different working groups. Let's go back here. Like I said, these are all different proposals, and once we started creating these, we saw that there were different work groups that proposals were coalescing around. So this would be the software development group. This would be organizational labs, which builds all of this and proposals. We got a group for community builders, and we have the Tech Help Collective. So what we're trying to do here is define these as much as possible to allow other people to come in, see what we're doing, and say, okay, yeah, I'm interested in this. I want to hop in. I want to just jump in. Let me help, and drop their name down. And so let's walk through the different work groups and see if anyone is interested in any of these. Organizational labs is building this. It's about building teal organizations. It's about doing research about community building. It's about writing the proposals. It's about understanding the organization that we're building and making all of that run smoothly. So it has, at this point, had 3 different groups within it. There's a lot of research involved with this: governance research, organizational research, legal, and DAO research, how other DAOs are being run. There's operations. Operations, we have like, how do we build a teal organization that functions properly? How do we make that possible? That type of thing. And we have outreach, which means like finding new people to come in and finding new colonies that want to join in, that type of thing. And the team is currently also, I think Nori would like to join in here as well.
I'm in.
See, you can just drop your name down there as well. And if anybody is interested in any of these things, you want to hop in, we'll add your name here as well. This is work in progress, so a lot of it is just experimental. So we have the Forge, which pretty much goes with blockchain and software. How do we build this decentralized app? How do we build this, build our smart contracts, and all of that work? We already have a group of people working on this, but if you're interested, we'll add your name here as well. we have other groups as well: Tech Help Collective, the Dream Engine, and Love House. And any of these names are subject to change. But what these guys do is pretty much build our community, create content, and do classical marketing things. And currently, it's Arman, who's not here today, who's working on this. She's helping us out with some of our art. Let me just show you some of our art because it's pretty amazing. There's this AI which generates this image, and we're going to be using these for our NFT profiles. So each of us will have one of these as our NFT badges, symbolizing our membership as a Littlefish.
Yeah, it's
So
her
she's-
birthday. That's why she's not here.
That is so cool.
So she's going to be generating these, and she's also looking into community building and Twitter, managing Discord. She's going to be looking into all of those, and this is probably the one area that we need a lot of help in, because this thing grows as we do more things. We need to communicate much better. We need to produce content. We need to produce YouTube videos. We need to produce a lot of content that keep people engaged. Like in Discord, we're not using Discord very effectively. I'm not even sure if it's the right place to communicate with other people, but at this point, it's pretty much what everyone else uses. So we need to communicate more effectively there. Like this is the one area I think we need the most help in. So if anyone wants to hop in there, anyone wants to help in there, that'd be the area. And that we have the Dream Engine, which is just what me and Jem have been doing for the past 2 months, is imagining what we want to build and thinking about it and putting it into paper. And we will also have the token engineering group here as well. We'll have a proposal for that. So if you want to work on token engineering, we'll have you in here as well. And we have the Tech Help Collective, which these guys just look into our tools. They look into blockchain, they research. It's a very critical part of our infrastructure, I think, because like blockchain, everything is going at super fast speeds, and we need to keep on top of things to not fall behind the curve. So we need people who are responsible for learning about this and bringing that knowledge to the rest of the organization. And this is what these guys will be doing. And our crew here in Turkey that are very capable and very knowledgeable on technology. They'll be researching and they'll be learning and they'll be communicating all of this back to everyone else. And if you go into details on this, this involves things like researching multi-sig wallets that we can use, maybe different alternative communication platforms, governance platforms, like Discord bots, taking those out on a ride, like testing them out, that type of thing. And also creating educational content on these, because not everyone knows how to use these tools. Not everyone knows how to use Calendly, for example, but it makes life so much easier for this type of work. So these guys will help everyone get on the same page about the tools and the technologies that we're using. And that's pretty much it for me. Like, if you got any questions on any of this, I'd love to answer.
First of all, a lot of thought put into that, so well done, as always.
Thank you.
I'm trying to, yeah, I think one key thing for the proposal is obviously to see the challenges, right? I mean, and to see how what we want to build is connected to each challenges. That's basically a key in the proposal writing.
Yeah,
so
right.
that we will know in a couple of days. But we can, yeah, please.
Sorry, I want to interrupt.
No, please go ahead.
at the beginning, when as we talked about this last week already, right? I was a bit skeptic because this would be a lot of proposals, right? Having one proposal for every of those bubbles. But I feel like, as Joram just said, some might not be very applicable to some of the challenges. And Chakan said last week that, we will not get everything funded, and we can work on part of them and start with some, and then, next fund, there's always going to be a next fund to fund the others.
So with the proposals, we can go really small, the number of proposals. We can, I think, boil them down to the main working groups. That would be like 5 proposals we can boil them down to. That would mean we would have to get all of them funded, which kind of is risky. So we couldn't go the other way and fund each proposal would be like one feature of what we're doing. And that would be way too granular. And that's also kind of risky because they're going to say, you just want money to do research X, which is very, it's not as good as it could be. So there is a natural point between those 2 points where we minimize the risk of not getting funded, but also get funded as much as possible. So I think that is somewhere between 10 to 15 different proposals. And what I've been thinking about is making all of those proposals available, visible in one place, which is on Miro, for everyone to see. Because I feel like I've seen other groups who propose 10, 15 different proposals in Catalyst. And what they do is they kind of hide their proposals as if they're doing something bad. But I don't think we're doing something bad by proposing 10, 15. Like we're building a startup pretty much. And it has different functions that need to get funded. And that's what we're doing, funding all those different functions. And if we put all of the information in one place and be as direct as possible, and every person can see, oh, they're building all of these different things, I think we can get pretty much all of them funded as long as we work hard on making each of those proposals as good as possible.
Yeah, but then the key is to show how each proposal supports Littlefish, but how it also supports the community somehow, right? I mean, it's not that just to get funded for a startup. It has to be something that is related to a model that then the community can use, an open source service or something, and then it makes somehow more sense. But yeah, just need to consider that somehow, especially if you put all of them together, which makes sense because you want to be very transparent. It still can be, but eventually, I mean, again, we are speaking about different proposals that have a limited some kind of a budget, right? I mean, also, I mean, it has to be reasonable. That's the only thing. For the needs, Littlefish, for the needs of the community. Yeah, that's the only recommendation that I have on that. But it makes sense because not all of them are going to get funded anyway, right? So only some of them are going to get funded. So it has to show that each proposal have a merit by itself. Yeah, that's an important point to take into consideration, I think.
Yeah,
I think it's good. Yeah.
I have to say, in Cardano After Dark, we have someone who got 5 proposals funded. Jude got 5 proposals funded. So, I mean, yeah, 19 proposals is a lot, and I agree that putting it in one place absolutely is the right way to go, and not be ashamed of having more proposals or something if we do it. But still, it's also a lot of work on our end and also on Catalyst's end.
Yeah, but at the same time, if you do it with different teams also, right? So there will be, it's not one team getting all the money, but you kind of build different teams that different capabilities. But these capabilities also have communicating centrally. It makes sense. It's not that all the money goes to one person or 5 person or whatever it is. It goes into different teams that are being created in order to support a common objective, which is build a new type of ecosystem. I mean, I'm just thinking how's the right way. I definitely think that to make multiple proposals makes sense and make them early. So yeah, just need to make sense of the proposals.
Yeah, I think Catalyst is a playground for Littlefish. So we will
Yeah.
learn it there, and we will apply the same thing on Littlefish, so we can fund people based on their actions.
Yeah.
So
That's a good
yeah,
point.
we are experimenting.
Yeah, because then it's going to anyway to finance actions, and a lot of the action can be action related to Catalyst also afterwards, right?
Yeah,
To think
yeah.
about that. So actually the
So
money
the-
stay within Catalyst.
Exactly. So we are introducing a new vision. So the action comes first, and actions are labeled by NFTs as a Notarian, and after that, the actions are purchased by the people. So we want to implement this vision, and after that, I hope we will put it into Littlefish, and it will be a Notarian between the people. So when you look at your wallet, you can see all your agreements, all your shares, all your rewards, and other stuff. And you can bring them with your wallet to another places like Metaverse or other games or other social media. So if you attempt activism with your wallet, and you will be able to bring that to everywhere. So we want to make them organized in the wallet with the IDs and other stuff.
I mentioned this in a previous morning with Jem and Chakan. This is right now the community's playing with bounties and putting up different tasks in D work and then saying here's a 100 ADA bounty to do X work. This kind of reverses it upside down where you go, here's some work I did. Here's an NFT who wants to buy it and pay me for my work. So it's a completely reverse model of the bounty system, which I think is really cool. And maybe the both of them can coexist in some cool way. But I really appreciate that it's a different way of working, which may be more human and really allow us to do those things we love rather than trying to make a buck doing things because we're trying to make money. So really getting to that concept of ikigai is, here's what I love to do. I'm doing this. Who values it? And then you can see natural affinities to who pays you for it, if anybody, versus, oh, here's some work. I don't really like it, but it's 100 ADA. I'm going to do it. And you don't really enjoy your work, but you do it just because there's some money attached. So I love the concept. I think it's more human and maybe can bring more passion to the space and let people really do what they're good at. Yeah.
Also,
I agree with you.
We have another advantage. If you get the bounty, it's just the bounty. And if you publish your action, it will live there forever. And maybe you can get support 20 years later. It will stay there because, and people will be able to purchase it after you finish the job and other things.
I'm curious. I saw in the paper, I saw that you said you added something, Jem, about how it can be stored decentralized. Maybe do you have an idea on how we could do that?
Yeah, we have lots of experiments, but we couldn't have an exact thing right now. But we want it to be decentralized from the beginning, fully decentralized.
Yes, that makes sense.
Yeah. So I think the most important part is in this very first stage is the notarian part. So, you are exchanging money with your wallets and there is no evidence. What are you paying for? What are you transferring your money to? And Littlefish will solve this, first of all. So you will have an NFT for each transaction, and you will be able to show it anytime. then this will be agreement between the people and between the colonies, and it will never change.
Yeah, it's a very cool concept. So I didn't think about the 20 years after, but you basically, that's a good idea. But actually, people show what they can do, and then people choose if they want to finance the continuance of the work, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like you always get, okay, now I did that, we get finance for that, and now you have money to do the next thing you want to do, right?
Yeah. Also, some part of the amounts will directly go to the colony. And if you get money 20 years later, so the colony will, everybody will get benefit from it.
That is a cool concept, because sometimes something you do today, you may not really know the amazing impact until 20 years later. And then somebody goes, oh my God, this action turned into this. And then they could retroactively come back. And that's really cool. Yeah.
Thank you. Çakan, can you show the theory of change so we can explain it more clearly?
There's
Yeah,
gonna be,
this is,
sorry, maybe there's going to be action investment companies sometime in the future.
yeah.
Actions,
yeah,
and then
we
it
got
can
something.
when it became
I want to look
clear
into this.
how important.
But by the way,
it was.
don't forget you can contribute to anything here if you would like to. So this is the imagination of the final version of Littlefish. So people get together and form colonies. Even one person can create a colony. And this makes unity in the system, like the plural and the singular is the same for a fish, and this is the same here. So when you create a colony and you can invite people with the same goal in mind, and you can create infinitely many number of actions, and the actions will be supported by the tech crew, artist crew, marketing crew, and all of these colonies will help you. And all together, you will be making the perfect proposals and making a perfect job here. So, and your actions will be purchased by your followers and the people believing you. And those will be NFTs, as you know. And with the share and reward scheme of the colony, you will get paid, and everyone will get paid instantly based on their actions. So this is the final stage that we think, and at the end, we believe that this system will connect like-minded and like-hearted people together.
Yeah, you know, for me, again, I was trying to think how to create the first use case, right, in a simple and clear way.
Yeah, we also made it. Çakan can explain it more clearly.
First use case.
Yeah, MVP.
Which is Littlefish.
It's down there below.
Which one? This?
No.
No.
Terra affection.
Sure, I'll go into that, but I think Yoram wants to talk about Littlefish Foundation being the first colony, the MVP colony.
Yeah.
Yes. So there will be only Littlefish, the first release, and after that, we plan to have some additions. Especially in my view, if you asked me, I want to implement the Metafish. Metafish is the Web3 version of the person that is using Littlefish. And after that, I want to create the Babelfish. Maybe you know Babelfish from the guide of the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. So Babelfish will enable people to communicate with different languages. It will automatically translate the things that people write to a colony to the main English. So we are building a system to implement that one. And I hope we will use Google Translate in the backend.
So one of the proposals
we-
would be creating Babelfish, which would
This
translate
is
all
an
of the
amazing
documents.
proposal. This Babelfish can be an amazing proposal that will serve so many other projects. I mean, this is why what I said
Yeah.
before, that each proposal can be amazing by itself.
Yeah,
And,
It is one of the proposals.
yeah, I love it.
we will pass the language barrier, and everyone can be able to get inside the colonies and share their opinions and involved in the actions.
I want to be part of this one for sure.
Okay, great.
Due to Babelfish.
We will show them the translation of translation, so it will be meaningful for everyone. So if the translation of translation is okay, then everyone can understand it. While they are writing, they will see the translation of translation on the bottom. So they can check it in their native language, and if it's meaningful, then the English should be also meaningful for them.
That's pretty cool, I think. So is it also possible to do spoken German to text English?
Yeah, this will be the real Babelfish then.
Exactly.
I hope we can do it later. Why not? And Metafish is you know this attachment on the Word. Do you remember that one?
The paperclip.
And yeah, paperclip. Yeah, it will be something like that, and it will manage your wallet. It will keep your history. It will handle all the things that you require in Web3. Its name is Metafish, and when you register in Littlefish, everyone will have a Metafish, and they will have the NFTs created by Arman automatically. So
So
for
it'll be
each
like the
person, we are
interface.
giving a Metafish for each person.
And those are the AI art that Arman was building that I showed earlier. And that be your Metafish, your interface into Littlefish.
And the Web3 and Metaverse and your identity. Yeah.
If you want to bring another artist, I mean, what you do does is amazing. But the artist of Shlomo Cohen, you remember him, he does very cool stuff that are very different than her. I don't know. I'm just sharing with you guys just to, I mean, just can be also available. You see his work here. This is when there is a catastrophic. You see basically the fish become plastic. So each one of these can be also an NFT.
Yeah,
Anyway.
Why not?
This is, I mean, amazing work.
Can you invite him to the next meeting? Yeah, so we can.
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, great.
Let's talk to him.
And I think he would be able to collaborate about ocean cleanup and all of this. I mean, this stuff of his work is amazing. Anyway.
This is
you
exactly the
reached-
type of thing that we want in our artist guild, I think.
Yeah. Have you reached out to the Cardano Creatives group? They might be
sure.
interested in some of this too.
I never
That's a
heard
good
of
point.
it. Is it a Discord group?
It's a Telegram group run by Marie, where she started it. Let me find it. Link.
Yeah, and she is also very creative.
Yeah. There you go.
Thank you, Marie.
One thing that I missed, maybe I didn't find it, maybe in the white paper, if I may, and again, is the roadmap, the timeline, right? In terms of what next now, because in terms of the development of the Littlefish use case.
We present the roadmap with bubbles. If the bubbles goes up and grow, then it will eventually be handled by a group of people. So we want to have the same thing. In fact, instead of using roadmap, we want to use bubbles. So we can use them also in the website. And we will put that into the white paper. Çakan took several days to finish the white paper, but I couldn't have the time to check all of them yet. We will extend it. If you want to add anything to white paper, you are also welcome.
No, it's great. Yeah, but it's great. I think with the bubbles, I mean, yeah, I'm happy to try and help there, but so the bubbles will be basically grow. Yeah, I'm just trying to think about the next use case and how can we prove that it works, right? What need to be done, or let's say what will be considered a success, and what can we prove that works? I made it a multiple success.
So I think there are two things that we're talking about at this point. One is all the different proposals that we're going to do. Pretty much this as an idea matures, as people fill in, we'll move it up, make it more important, and we'll do it. And this is kind of a roadmap for that. That I think is more internal. And I think what Yoram is mentioning is more about a general business use case type of roadmap, which includes both like very general milestones, like when do we have our first actions produced? When do we have a product that everyone can use? That type of thing, but also like use cases. So Littlefish Foundation, #1 colony, but then we'll also have different use cases that we want to support. When do we do that? I think if I understand you correctly, is that right to say, Yoram?
Yeah, I'm trying because I think the concept is amazing, and I'm trying to see how to explain it to someone that is not from here and not coming to the meeting, and it's very simple for him to understand, right? And because I love the idea of the bubbles, that the bubble grow by some teams working harder, and then maybe they go and help another team, and I don't know. I mean, how it will happen even, right? Everything kind of would be. It's a different mindset than what we know, but still we need to explain it. I mean, it depends what's the needs now, but how we explain it in an easy way to someone that is not from here. I mean, like how you explain Catalyst, someone not from Catalyst, right? So
I can't even explain Bitcoin to people, so.
So yeah, so that's so yeah, so even that the concept is very kind of no boss, people support, post work, people work, and then they get support later on from other people. Yeah, so I mean, I think somehow to simplify all of that for the first use case, and then it is. I mean, but that's just my opinion, so I don't know. I mean, don't want to.
I have the same reservations on this. I will rework part of the white paper on different use cases and probably like gray out some areas, seeing like this is a future, we'll build it in the future, and give more detail on the first use case, the first colony, and how we're going to go about doing that. And as we progress, as we verify, validate the model with the first use case, then we can go into more detail about all the different use cases that we think there is in this.
But
Probably
only
like
one
number 2 is decentralized communities. We'll write that in to the white paper as well.
and that will be great. I think there's interesting. I mean, this work, I thought about it a lot, and I share with you. It's very
Yes.
interesting to learn about their story, because it's not very clear yet what's their story. I don't know. No, I remember that there was no kind of who founded it and when founded it, and it's kind of a platform to somehow register action and create work in decentralized way in communities. And it's kind of
Okay.
interesting their story because there's a lot of similarities. I mean, not in the model, but how they kind of came out.
Yeah. And they're a clear example of the exact opposite of the Littlefish model. Like,
Yeah.
but it still arose out of the same need, is how do you incentivize and reward contributions within a decentralized community?
They only take rewards they only give rewards in Ethereum, right? We can't use them with ADA right now.
Not yet, although Felix added Cardano support as a community issue, and they work on issues from the highest voted down. And within one day, it became the highest voted issue because
Nice.
everybody who's using it in the CA community voted it up. And so hopefully that gets them some attention. Yeah, but right now they only support Ethereum and the EVM based tokens and maybe a couple others, but not Cardano.
I see that the token engineering community and some other big DAOs that I'm following are already on this. So
Yeah. And the nice thing about that is if you're just looking for work, you can go and look for unclaimed bounties and search across all the DAOs and find work that may be of interest to you and apply for it.
right. We will probably need to build something similar, but not by looking for work, but like different types of colonies that you can be contributing to, different types of roles inside those.
Mhm.
And also one of the proposals that we wanted to make was an Ethereum bridge. Like how do we build in cross-chain collaboration as soon as possible? Because if we don't build it as soon as possible, someone will build it on Ethereum and we'll be behind there. Thankfully, we have Mert. Mert is just an amazing smart contract developer working on EVM-based chains. So we'll talk with him and see if he wants to work on it.
Nice. There's Milkomeda as well, has some really nice
Right.
features for that.
Does anyone
Yeah.
have any experience with Milkomeda?
Nope.
Not yet.
There's a lot to learn.
No, but one thing, they got funded in the previous fund to be an accelerator for the companies that want to work with Milkomedia, and maybe we can apply for that actually. So they got funded in Fund 7.
Mhm.
I can send with you the proposal, and maybe we can, Littlefish can get funded actually through there, to get their support through there, or collaboration, or if it makes sense. I'll share with you the proposal.
I think that would be a great idea because we could go to them, propose to them. We're going to have a team working on this. We will have smart contract developers, and we will have people who will share the knowledge here as broadly as possible. Make YouTube videos on it. Put some documentation out there, and if we can just provide those, which we can, they'll probably just say yes because it's a good deal for them as well.
Yeah, so
They'll
this
teach
is
us and
this is the proposal they did for Fund 7 that they got funded. I mean, it's not. I mean, they got 50,000 or something like this. I think. Yeah, they wrote actually very short proposal.
wow, this is a very short proposal, yeah. And they got funded for this.
Yeah.
Well, everybody knows Milkomedo already, so
But anyway, it gives some opportunity to contact them and say, hey, I mean, that's what we do. Let's collaborate. And you have all the contact people here. I mean, you can even contact them directly.
yes, I will contact them this week.
I think that's all for today. Chakan, would you like to add anything that we missed?
I think that's all from me today.
Yeah.
If you guys have any questions on the white paper, please drop comments and ask in Discord. We want to work on that and make it publicly available in the next couple of weeks, let's say. And then we'll send it to Mihaila and get some feedback from IOG as well. So that's one of the important focus points for the next few weeks.
Do you want to include the tokenomics inside, or it's something that you want to do, or you wait with that?
Not yet. Mihaila also will help on the tokenomics, and for now on, we won't be able to add anything.
Okay. Makes sense.
Thank you, everyone.
I just want to say I really look forward to the published fish. I think if you can make that work, that would be a great deal for the community.
Yeah, I hope so.
To which part?
Bubblefish.
Bubblefish. Okay.
But the real
Bubblefish
one, the one where you
Yeah.
speak.
Chakan, are you reading the book?
Oh, no, not yet. I will read it someday when I'm by the beach and relaxing. So maybe when I'm 40.
I gifted him the Hitchhiker's Guide.
So let me tell you about the bubblefish. So we're actually hosting an Ukrainian family at home, and they don't speak French or English. So we are using Google Translate to communicate. I mean, it works great. So I just see it. I'm either recording, either just writing, typing, and it works very nice. So I love this idea.
Thank you, and I will contact you about that one. So
Yeah.
I have something in mind.
And you said to make it available to all the other projects. We were thinking of this. We weren't thinking of how other projects can use it. But if we take that in mind, like we can go even much larger with Babblefish as well.
I
Like
mean,
not
bubblefish can be huge. Because even within the communities, let's say you give it for translation. I mean, I think a lot of people, I know people that are not speaks very good English and they are trying to be on Catalyst, and it's very complicated for them, right? So, I mean, that by itself will be a service that everyone that want to use it will register to Littlefish, and he can use just service, and he register to Littlefish, and that will be a service for the community, and can start. Yeah, I think that can be amazing. It basically open to everyone to be on the same platform. It's actually very, very impactful.
Yeah, also Littlefish can be a pathway to Catalyst. So people can collaborate in Littlefish and get funded from Catalyst for their projects.
Yeah. Maybe it can be the first colonies. It can be actually instead of colonies, colonies, but it can be actually a tool, for example, to help people write proposals, right? So they write in their own language, and then it translates automatically into English, but you write it in your own language. Anyway, it's basically a very useful tool.
Yeah.
It can have a lot of applications.
There is I think there is another platform that have a better translation than Google Translate, but I can't remember the name. I'm gonna send it to you when I remember.
I worked in a private company
Deep.
about 20.
Deep.com.
Deep.
I think it was. Yeah, deepl.com. That's the one. I mean, I heard it is the best, but
Oh, okay.
of course, I don't know myself. But from the experience I have with it, it is very, very good. I could imagine it being better than Google Translate.
Good. Good. About 20 years ago, I worked in a translation company that was making automatic translation software from English to Turkish, and I have a very deep experience on this translation softwares. So if you want to get involved, please let me know so we can work together and have the proposal ready for Fontaine.
Yeah. I mean,
Thank you.
All right, take care.
Okay. See you.
Guys, thank you.
Thank you.